Did you join a debt relief company, but now you feel like they may have lied to you? Or potentially your credit score plummeted and you thought you were actually getting a loan? Or maybe you just faced a debt collection lawsuit? Welcome to Ascend Finance's YouTube channel, where we cover debt settlement and help you understand the costs, pros, and cons to help you be more informed to get you out of debt cheaper, easier, and faster. My name is Justin, and let's get started. In this video, I'm going to cover how you can actually cancel a debt settlement contract. And again, this is not legal advice, but truly just for information reasons only. So in this video, I'm going to go through a few different things. First, I'm going to touch on what a debt settlement contract is. Second, I'm going to go through 4 different steps to help you cancel a debt settlement contract. Third, I'm going to help you understand what you should do after debt settlement potentially. And lastly, I'm going to touch on kind of what are the potential negative consequences from canceling a contract. As we understand everyone's situation is unique, we wanted to figure out the best way to personalize it. And so to do that, we actually have built a free debt options and cost consolidation calculator that we included, I actually put in the description below, that ideally provide the cost and durations as well as the pros and cons of this option. Now, the idea is for you to holistically see everything in front of you, the different options, the pros and cons, and the costs so that you can make the most informed decision. Now, if you like this video, feel free to consider potentially liking it as well. It's always encouraging for me to see. And as well, if it's helpful for the future for you to see additional content that it'll ideally help you get out of debt, feel free to subscribe as we try to make new videos each week. Now, let's get started. So first, you may be wondering what a debt settlement contract really is. Well, to sum it in short here, a debt settlement contract, or potentially, another name is a debt settlement agreement or a client service agreement, is a document detailing how a debtor will pay the creditor through the help of, a negotiating party. Now, the debtor here is the individual that owes the money, right? And so the creditor is the one that is owed. And so the negotiator, the debt settlement company in this case here, helps individuals negotiate for a reduced amount, potentially, propose a new repayment term. Now, the client service agreement generally will actually have the cancellation steps, but I'm going to go through that in a little bit here. So if you've recently signed up for a debt settlement contract, but you actually want to cancel, here are 4 steps that may be able to help you. So step 1. So one thing you could do is potentially submit a notice of intent to cancel your debt settlement company agreement. Now, unless your debt settlement agreement has reached the end of its term, then you'll need to notify the debt settlement company and potentially the creditors as well. Terminating your agreement prior to the expected date may incur penalty fees. Some debt settlement companies may waive this in special circumstances. It just really depends. Now, after that, step 2 is going to look more like requesting the actual specific company's cancellation steps. So what I mean by that is providing your debt settlement company and the financial house with a notice of intent to exit a debt settlement contract doesn't necessarily trigger the process. You still need to adhere to the debt settlement company's specified cancellation process. So with that said, most companies will actually send you a message with, outlined steps to exit the contract. Except otherwise stated, you'll actually have to keep making your original monthly debt payment. Now, step 3. You may have fines to pay. So the debt settlement company may request you to pay a specific amount as the last step to exiting the contract. Now, exiting the contract without making a requisite payments may leave you in a legally undesirable state. Really depends though. After that, the step 4 kind of looks like paying the lender's outstanding balances. So now that you're actually out of the contract, now it just basically is you and the creditor. And so since you're still potentially owing the creditor, you have to reach out to the creditors to potentially repay the debt. Now, you could either try to negotiate a new payment contract, so you negotiate with the creditor directly, or you may be able to just keep making payments on the original agreement. So with that said, if you had multiple settlements already made and you're making in this program for, let's say, 1.5 years now, but you're leaving, you may, let's say you have outstanding agreements going. They've settled 3 accounts for less and it's on 24 or 36 payment term. Well, you're probably going to want to reach out to the creditor and make sure the agreement continues to stand, which may look like having them pull directly from your account now, because there's a very good chance that currently they're pulling the funds, the creditor is pulling the funds from the escrow account you've had with the debt settlement company. And so you could potentially keep that agreement by just potentially potentially changing the account the money is being pulled from, but it depends. So it's something to be aware of, that's all. Now, once you've exited the contract, there are a few different options actually that you can look at. Now, this could be, like we were going through a little bit, would be one, just continue to make the payments to the creditors as initially agreed. Second, as I said as well, is you can negotiate with the creditors and ask for help. Or you could find a whole different debt settlement company to help you. It would depend, and that's why I would recommend taking the calculator, is that would help you understand whether that would make sense. Or you can hire, maybe a nonprofit credit counseling company and looking at debt management instead. But again, that really depends on your current situation and how behind the accounts are. Or if you qualify, or if it makes sense, you could potentially look at a bankruptcy here. But you may be unsure of what to do. So like I said earlier, feel free to use the calculator below. That'll help you see all of your different options right in front of you, give you the cost, the pros and cons, all the above. And you can also speak with us. So if you're taking our calculator and you're like, you know what, I'm still confused, you could speak with me. I'll chat with you. I'll help you understand, what your options are, what options may make more sense than others, given the status of the accounts, based on the actual debt itself. So just because it's unsecured debt doesn't mean all options are the same, right? If it's medical bills versus a personal loan, it may be a little different. So feel free to take the calculator, feel free to request to speak with me, speak with one of us here. We would be happy to help. So now the next question is, what should you do after debt settlement? So there's a good chance you may now start to get some collection calls and letters directly to you. So what are your options now that you've canceled the contract? As I kind of went through just a few minutes ago here, we built this calculator to help you with that. So feel free to take it, go through it in detail. If you have questions, again, feel free to speak with us. So you now might be wondering what the consequences are of leaving a debt settlement program and what that could look like. So a few examples could be, one would be, the interest rates on your credit cards jump back up to potential previous figures, or late fees that were waived in the past may now be brought back, or payments that are no longer consolidated into a single payment, right? Now you're having to pay each one separately. Or like I alluded to earlier, you may start getting a bunch of collection calls again from different agencies or even the creditor themselves. Now, not to scare you with all that, I really do hope this video was helpful. Again, I want to make it so clear that if you do have any questions, you can either leave a comment down below, and that way other folks can see your question as well, and we can try to answer a lot of you at once, or you can give us a call or text. Please, you can give us a call at 833-272-3631. You can text us there as well. We'll try to get back to you. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks again for watching. I'm always here if you have questions.